sent away the stiff, feel like I'm falling short. My plan is blind, so I'm bragging all the torch. Catastrophic, I'm making the rain, make the walls support the way. I'm bringing mud, no other person wait to follow course. Give me the reasons I don't believe in what they're calling for. I'm bringing the pieces, what they can hang inside of my trillic galore. Walk a little forward to honor what's the world accord. The hand pick and walk through to find out what we could afford. I couldn't snug in my jacket, it was not in cord. Just sharing clothes and matching style, what's on my brother's floor. Floor patterns of rugs, horns, a painted orange. Feel skyrocketing, standing out through the coldest storms. No hide and seek, we always played it for the steps to peak. Laces loose, always tripping up on gravel feet. Computer feet, glass and empty, never full to reach. So what's a preacher when they sing, now they're ready to preach. You got it all, figure it out, make the rich get richer and the poor living down. I've been a fall with the rain coming down, so I live in my own pain and my own drown. Don't think you got it all, figure it out, make the rich get richer and the poor living down. I've been a fall with the rain coming down, so I live in my own pain and my own drown. Yeah, I'm living my own therapy to sit and wait to clocking out the recipe disaster with the generation biggest mouth. Define a job and working so you can't afford a child. Talking with some sense, maybe then you can afford a smile. Always been divided, always fight with the rich. They never fight with what they love except the profit blue strip. And in our fault, the government is always stuck in a pinch to give another country money with homeless living in tents. So democracy, the system's always following favor. Is it the government and the people pulling out what they label? To print the money just to make money, no taste of a flavor. So always owing someone something to disguise on the paper. Did the person invent college, go to college to hit major? Did that race feel any better at your job by law of nature? The world we live in is a beautiful creator, but the system ain't a system. When you fall down, they appraise you. Don't think you got it all, figure it out, make the rich get richer and the poor living down. I've been a fall with the rain coming down, so I live in my own pain and my own drown. Don't think you got it all, figure it out, make the rich get richer and the poor living down. I've been a fall with the rain coming down, so I live in my own pain and my own drown. Don't think you got it all, figure it out, make the rich get richer and the poor living down. I've been a fall with the rain coming down, so I live in my own pain and my own drown.
What up, everybody? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Ooh, I'm echoing back. I can hear that.
Man, much needed Friday too, man. How's everyone doing tonight?
I think, yeah. I think everybody's starting to get ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas, probably.
Oh, hell yeah, we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. Getting ready for Thanksgiving since the day after Thanksgiving. I'm ready for the next one. What we're doing this year, next year. We'll make a bigger turkey. We'll make a better turkey. We'll make more turkey.
Totally.
Ah, yeah. Man, Turkey Day is almost here. But now, man, the fucking time change. Who else is getting fucked up by this time change, man? That shit sucks.
For real.
I'm so tired of hearing we're not gonna do it no more. We're gonna stop it. Just
you get your
bring
hopes
forward and fucking leave it there. But everyone keeps talking about it. Like, yeah, this is the last year we're gonna do it. The last year we're gonna do it. But you're gonna have like what, 6 years now? Actually, no, it's been longer than that shit. It's been like maybe 10 years. Like,
really?
Promising or stop like talking like it's gonna happen, like, and just do it. No, shit fucks with your circadian rhythm, though, man. That's the thing. People like wonder why they feel fucking like shit all the time. Well, because we keep fucking throwing our sleep schedules off all the damn time.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. You know, there's something with like you were talking about their circadian rhythm with people, and it connects with nature. It connects with the sun and the moon and all that and everything, right? And it has everything to do with not being as connected with nature.
Oh, yeah.
And without you being as connected with nature, it's harder. It's like another wall up with God in a way, at least in my opinion. And so it's like you just can't feel him like you normally would.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah. So yeah, man, we're getting into simulation theory tonight. Been waiting for a minute to do this one. Just like waiting for the right moment till I just like I felt it. I feel it. Wow, Kitty, that's really good. Your
Do
mic,
what?
I can hear you breathing the mic. That's really good.
Hmm.
That's it.
How about now?
Yeah, that's a little bit
Okay. That sound like Darth Vader. My bad,
better.
guys.
Pop.
I do tend to. I'm trying to make sure I'm not speaking loudly like I usually do because I'm loud. Like I'm part Irish, so like, I can be very loud. So I'm not breaking anybody's phone speakers or anything.
But yeah, man, gonna be a good episode tonight. Oh man, what's everyone got going on for the weekend? Anything fun? Anything exciting?
Excited.
I'm gonna kick back.
Excited.
Back.
Hmm.
But yeah, man. Anybody who believes in simulation theory, though, man, I think simulation's breaking.
I agree.
You go.
Why do you think it's breaking, babe? I want to hear your opinion on why.
Oh, I will. We gotta break it down though a little bit first.
Okay.
I'll get there. Hold on one second. Cool. There we go. Yeah, man. Just Trey's new album out, man. I have not listened to it yet.
I got to listen to a few of the songs on Just Doing podcasting last night.
Yeah, I fell
Um,
asleep.
and then, yeah, yeah, you fell asleep before they started even playing his album.
I didn't even know
Um,
they were playing this album last night. That's so
well,
shitty. I was like,
they
man, I definitely would have stayed up for that shit.
no, all of a sudden, somebody in the chat was like, "Hey, Just Trey's album just released," and they're like, "Oh." So they went ahead and they played it. I don't know if they played the whole thing because after a few songs, I was so doggone tired, I had to fall asleep myself. I was like, "I'm going to bed, guys." But
Yeah.
yeah,
Hell yeah. Yeah, that was the first song I've heard off that in that little clip that he played before. That was a little
yeah.
teaser there, you know. But no,
So
that was incredible. That was good.
so if you guys are looking for somebody that has reacted, be sure to check out Just Doing Podcasting on that album. And it is called Perception. And I will tell you, this is totally a different beast than we are used to um, from Just Trey. I mean, it is just amazing. The few songs that I did here. So y'all be sure to check it out.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
put Just Trey and link in the live chat if you're watching this on replay. And I'm also going to be putting Just Do It podcasting, their channel there as well. So, Stoner, how about them Cowboys? No? He must be working on something. Sometimes he'll have to go and work on our system a little bit and he'll disappear. But like I said, I have both Trey's link to his channel. I also have the link to the song that we used that was therapy session. I also have that link there as well. And then, of course, we have Just Doing Podcast and link as well. If y'all want to check out that podcast, if you're new or anything like that, you want to look at their reaction. It's pretty good. They do really well with their reactions.
Yeah.
You never
So,
answered my question. How about them
what?
Cowboys?
Hell yeah. So yeah, who knows about simulation theory? Okay, what you know about simulation
So it could be best for me summed up to a joke that I saw years ago. It was like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. This dude was joking that he sent his Sims to university. They all became like super scientists, and they proved that they were living in a simulation. Like, that's the best way to describe it. So he unplugged his computer.
theory? That's funny. Dude, makes you wonder though, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if that's what it boils down to? Alright. So, simulation theory. One sec, guys. So, simulation theory proposes that our reality is a computer simulation created by an advanced civilization. Similar to a video game like The Matrix, while it is a philosophical concept with potential scientific implications, a recent mathematical analysis suggests it might be possible for a simulation of our universe to exist within itself due to the immense inner sorry, suggests it might be impossible for a simulation of our universe to exist within itself due to the immense energy required to run and erase information, leading some to believe our reality is not a simulation. Alright, so there's actually ways to prove that it really wouldn't take that much energy and processing power. We'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll kind of hit the highlights here. Arguments for simulation theory. Mathematical patterns. Some point to the mathematical and informational patterns found in nature, such as in physics and cosmology, as potential evidence that the universe is a computational environment. So like those repetitive patterns, even such things like, you know, like no snowflake is the same, you know, like things like that, the golden ratio, all those things that
Mm-hmm.
we observe in nature.
Right.
Phenomena like quantum indeterminacy, where particles only exist in a definite state when measured, can be interpreted as a sign that reality is not real, but is rendered or calculated only when observed. Put a pin in that. That's going to tie back to the computational power.
So is that kind of like what was it, Schrodinger's cat? I
Schrodinger's
have that
cat.
right. Yeah.
That's going to go a little more into observation theory with that.
Okay.
But yeah, so anybody who doesn't know what that is, so Schrodinger's cat was, long story short, the experiment where if the cat is in the box, is it alive or dead? Like if it's not being observed, if you're not hearing it move, you're not hearing it yell, how do you know that cat's alive or dead? How do you even know that it exists? Like the old saying, like a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound.
Mm-hmm.
Does it? I mean, if this is a computer program, when you're designing software, you want to be as efficient as possible. You want your software to be streamlined, no memory leaks. You'll want to be storing fucking shit tons of data that it doesn't fucking need. Like, doesn't need to hold on to that. Let it go. Keep your memory clear. I mean, there's all kinds of shit that goes into a smooth running software or, you know, whatever you're designing, firmware even. So if this was a simulation, and a massive one at that, it would need to run as efficiently as possible to use as little power as possible. So why would a tree make a sound if it fell and no one was around? There wouldn't be a need for it to fall. Hell, did the tree even fall, or did it go from standing to suddenly broken in half and land on the ground? You know, like, I mean,
Right.
no one was there to observe it. So how do we know?
Right. No, 100%. It just really makes you think. And what is it? The particle test? That would be more so of an example, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. But yes,
Okay.
exactly. I think it's called the slit experiment. That's what it's called. But
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
yeah. All right. So everybody knows, like, when Upchurch was talking about the whole um, Rodney case, he's like, you know, I cannot say that I know she exists because I don't know that she exists. I'm not going to say that she's a real person if I don't know that she exists, and there's nothing to show that she exists, right? And this is what I think the people who struggle to understand what the fuck he was trying to say right there don't understand this shit. So here's the thing. How can you say something is one way or the other if you don't know? You can't say that the simulation doesn't exist because you don't know, right? But how can you
Right.
say, well, that tree made a sound when it fell? Were you there? No. Well, then how do you know that? Because that's what happens. Says who? Says everybody. Well, who's everybody? Like, everybody. Where did everybody get their information from? I don't
Right.
know. You don't fucking know anything, dude. You don't know anything. Right there, you're basically saying, like, I don't know. Just taking a really fucking long route to get there. So, you know, it's how you look at things, it's how you think about things. When you start realizing intricacies like that, like, well, how do I know that, you know, when I'm at home, that, and like the curtains are shut, the curtains are drawn, it's dark outside, and I close my eyes. How do I know that the world outside of this house exists? I'm not observing it, so how do I know? What if it, like,
Right.
what if it's not there? I don't know.
It's
I don't know. I
it's
cannot
trippy.
prove that it's there because I'm not observing it. But once I start observing it, it's there. So how do I know
It's
it's not
trippy.
only there when I'm observing it, only when I am?
Yeah.
That's how you have to think, man. So Bostrom's argument. Philosopher Nick Bostrom's 2003 argument suggests that if an advanced civilization can create realistic simulations, and if they are interested in running such simulations, then it is statistically likely that we are living in one of the many simulations rather than a single base reality. I like that one there.
Right.
So mathematical impossibility. These are arguments against. So recent research suggests it is physically impossible to simulate our universe within itself. This is because the energy required to simulate and erase information in a simulation is immense. A large portion of the universe cannot be simulated within its own confines. What's up, Patrick?
Hey,
How you
Pat.
doing?
Good to see you.
Appreciate you joining us, bro. Energy cost. The process of running a simulation requires a tremendous amount of energy, and the need to constantly erase information to run the simulation further complicates the idea. This leads to the conclusion that it's impossible to run such simulations. So how many people are going to look at that right there, potentially, and say, you know, that's enough information. They're absolutely right. Too much mathematical impossibility, too much energy. That's right. It's just not. It's not possible, man. I'm gonna rule
Mhm.
out right there. Okay, man. Well, for one, energy. Let's start with energy. What if there is? I mean, if it's an advanced civilization, correct? What if they have a like way to produce a massive amount of energy? You know, like from like a very small source. What if they have, you know, like just infinitely renewable energy? We don't know what their power source is, man, and what that situation is. So mathematical impossibility to get like basically the processing power to run the simulation. Okay, well here's the thing with that observation theory. If you're not observing it, doesn't exist. That's how. Oh, what's up, Gabe? How you doing, bro? That's
Good
how
to see it.
games work. Like anybody ever play like a sandbox game, like Grand Theft Auto or some shit, then you run around a whole fucking big ass city. The game doesn't like the game console computer doesn't load that whole map. It loads portions, and as you're traversing, you might have, I don't know, it's like say in a game a half mile radius, depending on your what your settings are. So within that half mile radius, say you're moving north at a mile an hour. Well, as you're slowly creeping forward, that map is going to be loading little bit more forward in the very front, and you're going to have that
Mhm.
radius shrinking behind you and kind of moving forward with you. Like that's how it loads each detail. It loads it all dynamically like that. That cuts down the processing power immensely. So you know, right there, it is theoretically possible that we could, something could run a simulation like that. It would just have to
Mhm.
be very efficient, very fine tuned. Not saying it exists, just saying, logical, critical thinking here.
Right.
So, physics experiments. This is how to test for simulation. Scientists are conducting experiments to test the theory. For example, some researchers are exploring whether it's possible to detect evidence of a simulation, such as glitches in the laws of physics or the universe behaving like a computational system. Quantum physics. The exploration of quantum mechanics continues to be a central part of the debate, with researchers looking for more clues about how the universe works at its most fundamental level. So, when you get down like elementary particles and shit, man, in fact, I think that's a hell of a place to start. Hold this.
What you pulling up, babe?
Hmm.
What you pulling up?
The elementary particles. Huh. They've actually changed the. It looks slightly different there. I remember. Fucking videos.
I found a site. Do you want me to send it to you that has it?
Um, if I can't get this one, yeah. I miss the
Okay.
days when you could just pull up a fucking image like full screen on Google. Man. Fucking
Right.
hell, man.
Yeah, that's what I got there.
Is that the one? Zoom a little bit more. Fuck you. So, everyone knows, of course, atoms, electrons, protons, all that. Well, there's more of the elementary particles like protons, neutrons, and shit like that. Anyone who's ever watched Star Trek, like pretty much any episode, is gonna know the tachyon, right? We've all heard tachyon, tachyon burst, tachyon pulse, tachyon this. So, actually, where is the tachyon? I don't see it.
I don't see it on there either.
Okay, it's still a hypothetical particle. I thought for sure that they
Okay.
had actually have proven the existence of a tachyon.
So I'm very ADD and I'm already starting to get lost here. So what are we doing?
Sorry. We're diving.
Okay, we're diving
So,
from what? I already forgot what we're talking about.
simulation theory, baby.
No, I know that, but like we're going
Like
into this for a reason.
yeah, we're going to for a reason.
No, I
So,
know. I'm asking a legitimate question though.
that's what I'm trying to get to. You keep interrupting.
Okay. Then answer.
I can mute you. You know that, right? I can mute you.
Do it. Do it.
Don't you dare me. Don't you dare me, Ricky Bobby. You gonna come to the computer screen?
No, I'll leave this room and go where you're at.
You
Think I
don't know
won't.
where I am. How you know I'm really here? I turn the camera on. So, anyway, these are all like what they say are the base particles that make up everything. Whole universe here, basically. So once again, we see charges, neutral, negative, positive charges. But interesting, right? A lot more than most people think when they think of the big three: electron, neutron, proton, right? A lot of these we can't even necessarily prove that they exist. It's more like they are documented by mathematical equations. So it's not like anyone's actually seen, any of these like particles or actually been able to see it move or see it interact with other particles or really study it. Once again, its own existence is only proven by math. So right there, this is more or less still kind of a theory.
Mm-hmm.
So that really just kind of boils down like, we really don't understand how shit works, like at a subatomic level like that. So, anybody who's seen Ant-Man, how when he, shrinks down really, really small, like microscopic time out like here on our level of things, like time like slows down, moves slower up here than it does down there.
Hmm.
So, like, right there, you've already got, like, a difference in the speed of time itself, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, I mean, crazy shit, man. All, like I said, all these are, scientific theories still, but, but it's treated pretty factual. So, right there, I mean, we can't say that it definitely does not exist because we don't know enough about, like, the workings of the world. I think we can
Right.
all agree on that, right?
Right. And wasn't it Elon Musk like 5 or 10 years ago? Didn't he come out and say that we're pretty much living in a simulation? Didn't he?
I think he did. So, main observation, or I'm sorry, the double slit experiment. That's what it was.
That's the one with the particles that shoot through, the lasers that shoot through, right?
Yeah, we're gonna watch a little clip of this. Actually, you know what? What was that? What episode was that with fucking what's it called? Wine Boss? Was that the simulation theory as well?
Ooh, I don't know what the name of the episode was, but he did a great job at going over that.
I'm gonna try to play that one. Anybody
Okay.
who hasn't watched Wi-Files, man, that's actually a really good channel, man. Please check them out.
I'll put their link in the chat, baby.
Wow, this is
I'm gonna
like
turn
really
it
bad.
up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I don't see. Maybe it wasn't this one. I think it was on the compilation though, wasn't it?
I have no clue on that one. Let me know which video you choose, and I'll put that one in the live chat, babe.
Just for fun. Okay, that's a lot. If each particle made...
Wow, this is lagging like a motherfucker, man. Kitty, Dick.
Yeah, I'm here.
I could have swore he went over that, did he not? I guess not.
I think he did. I thought he did, but the test, he totally did. I remember that.
Yeah.
I think it was towards the beginning.
Well, we're gonna find.
Okay.
Like, I just want some. Here you go. Here's a short. That should be a. What the fuck?
When a laser emits beams of light particles called photons at a screen with two slits, you'd expect to see two strips to correspond with the two slits. Instead, we see a pattern of light and dark bands. This suggests that light behaves like waves that pass through both slits simultaneously, interfering with each other to create the pattern on the second screen. However, when scientists use a measuring device to observe the split at each photon pass through, the interference pattern disappears and two strips appear. The act of observing which split it went through changed the behavior of the photons. No one knows why observing particles causes its behavior to change. When a laser emits beams of light particles,
So yeah. So the behavior of the particles changes depending on if it is being observed or not.
Interesting.
So photons, right? They're elementary particles. And I remember learning that, like, in middle school, man, like, hey, protons can sometimes act as particles, and sometimes they can, like, be like go in waves. So, it didn't really ever go into this experiment.
You said it didn't?
No, like they don't teach this. Like at least they didn't for me in middle school. But,
Right, right. They didn't for me either.
yeah.
If they did for you in the chat, if any of y'all in the chat, if it did for y'all, let us know. Curious.
So interesting, right there. Things change when you observe them, right? What other things change when you observe them?
People. Seriously.
That's true.
But we're not talking about that tonight. I'm talking about this stuff. That link that you had for that short, was that called the double slit test? What was that called, that short? Hey,
I
Razor
think so,
Ricky.
yeah. What's up, Ricky? How you doing, man? So yeah, Schrodinger's cat is a thought experiment from quantum mechanics that illustrates the concept of superposition. It describes a hypothetical cat in a sealed box whose fate is linked to a random quantum event, such as the decay of a radioactive atom. Until the box is opened and observed, the cat exists in a state of both being alive and dead simultaneously. So if the atom decays, the Geiger counter triggers the hammer, which shatters a poison flask and kills the cat. The cat is placed in a sealed box with a device containing a radioactive substance, a Geiger counter, a hammer, and a flask of poison. There is a 50% chance that the radioactive atom will decay within an hour. If the atom does not decay, the cat remains alive. The quantum paradox. According to quantum mechanics, until the box is open, the radioactive atom exists in the superposition of both decayed and undecayed states. Because the cat's fate is linked to this quantum event, the cat is also considered to be in the superposition of being both alive and dead. It is only upon opening the box and observing the system that the superposition collapses and the cat is found to be either definitely alive or definitely dead. Schrödinger devised this experiment to highlight what he saw the paradox and absurdity in quantum mechanics when applied to macroscopic objects. It challenges the idea that a system can be in multiple states at once, demonstrating that the strangeness of applying quantum rules to the everyday world. The experiment raises questions about the role of the observer and the nature of reality itself at the quantum level. What do you think of that, Keith?
Can you explain that in layman's terms? Whenever you read like that, it doesn't, like, it's like it goes in one ear out the other.
So,
Just tell me.
well, the whole point is to get your take on it, not tell you what the like general take is.
No, I'm not trying to tell you to tell me what to think. I'm trying to tell you, when you read, it goes one ear out the other for me.
You can read off the screen and like.
I can't read that.
Okay. Here, I can blow it up for you.
I'll look it up. It's okay, babe.
Here, can you see that?
No.
You
I'll
can't
look
see
it up.
that? How can you not see that?
I can't.
It must not be pulling up as large on your screen.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were at the purpose of the experiment, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Y'all are gonna have to excuse me. I'm very blunt and very honest.
Do you want me
even
to
with
play?
my husband.
Do you want me to play a video for you?
No. Okay, the experiment's purpose. All right. Hiding an observer's consciousness. which what causes a quantum system to collapse into a single state. Okay. Okay, so many physicists don't believe any interaction of the quantum system with its environment, even interactions with air molecules or the walls of the box, can cause the collapse. So they believe it's a possibility, is what you're saying by that, correct?
Which part? Which part?
Like, basically what I'm reading here, that they're saying that it's a
I
possibility.
don't know what part you're at. What part are you at?
Experiment's purpose with the quantum system, talking about how the quantum system, it can cause it to collapse into a single state, like those are observers' consciousness.
The third part of the down here, the quantum paradox.
No, I'm on the experiment's purpose.
You must
That's
be
what I
looking at
thought you
something
were
different.
at.
Did you Google Schrodinger's cat, or what did you?
Mhm.
Okay. You must be getting a different result or something.
Mm,
Anyway,
okay.
so basically, what this means is like, or leads to believe is that we can't apply rules in that sense as we are certain of something that we have yet to observe or that has yet to be determined, if that makes sense. Like, seriously, guys, if I'm not explaining this well enough, please let me know. But, until something is determined, is it final? Is that the true state? Because up until that point, it could be fluid. That makes sense.
Hey, Carter, good to see you, bro.
What's up, Carter? How you doing, man? So, yeah. You ready to get into the Matrix comparison? Kitty?
Yes, yes.
Let's go with this. Seriously, anybody got a favorite part or favorite theory from the Matrix?
Well, I thought it was all generally just one theory.
One theory. What do you mean?
Okay, never mind.
The theory
I
of
didn't know there were
the
multiple
Matrix?
theories. That there's a matrix, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, like, the theories of how it ties into, like, real life and shit like that.
Ah, okay, I see what you're asking now. Okay.
Yeah. Because we don't do it.
I was saying,
Do it. Oh, gotcha. So, I mean, yeah, we don't know if, simulation exists. We don't even know how it works if it does exist. So, how the Matrix worked in the movie isn't necessarily like how, like what we perceive, how it actually operated. Does that make sense? Like, what if it was more allegorical? Does that make
how
sense?
so? Yeah, it does. So how would you think it's more allegorical? What are your theories? I'm really curious.
Like, like it's not all literal. It's not the literal plug in the back of the head connecting you. It's not, squid machines flying around that are using you as a battery. You know,
So what do you think it is? That's my question. I'm
that's what I'm saying.
curious.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna just give out my answer.
I want to know.
That comes at the
You
end.
need to embellish.
That comes at the end. You don't just
Okay.
like give like the best part of the whole like fucking show away like in the middle.
I do. I know. That's just
Yeah,
me,
you're just
though.
impatient. Like, I must
I
say.
am impatient. I know.
You were the kind that
I-
would like read the last couple of pages of the book before you got there, weren't you?
Yes, the suspense would
Like
kill
I
me.
have to know. I have to know right now.
I would just like go and skim, skim, skim this page, that page, that page, that page. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll shut up now. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. So here's somebody that's saying originally it was the humans were used as processors, not batteries. It was changed because the writers thought people wouldn't understand that. See, that makes more sense to me right there because, like, you know, they talk about how humans generate energy via heat and all this, but processing power of the brain makes a lot more sense. Because remember, like, how did we start off with this? They were talking about how people argue like the processing power it would take. Well, we talked about efficiency. We talked about only loading what is necessary, what we are observing, what is being measured as needed. And what if every individual processes their own reality with their own mind? What if that is what it means to be plugged into the machine? It's not a jacked in cable in the back of your head. It's your mind is creating the simulation, the cage, the reality.
Hmm.
There's
That's
the
why.
processing power right there.
That's why there's a saying of what you perceive as your reality.
And here's the
Yeah.
thing. You want infinite power for the simulation, right? Well, you got it. For every person in the simulation observing and needing that simulation to depict something, to be something, to exist, for every person needing that, requiring that to be plugged in, quote unquote, is going to be the power source. So therefore, really, the power source is unlimited. More people, okay, well, that's more processing.
Right.
I mean,
Kind of like the Rick and Morty part of the clip that we used as a teaser.
dude, anybody who hasn't seen the episode, that fucking shit is crazy, dude.
Yes.
They like his battery like shits out all of those little spaceship thing. So like him and Morty like shrink down and go inside the battery, fix it. It turns out it's like a civilization down there. They create energy within the battery system by working like we do. And like Morty's like, well, is this slavery and all that? He's like, slavery. He's like, they got everything they want. They're happy. They're happy. They don't know that this is what their purpose is. They
It's
work, they
society.
farm, they eat. They're happy.
They
It's
marry,
really
they have
happy.
kids to replace the older ones that can no longer work anymore.
Hmm. And then
Insane.
there's a part where there's another battery, like that they have to like shrink down again, and there's another fucking civilization down there. It's like just infinite.
Hmm.
Dude, I talked about how like you look at solar system, and you look at like an atom, not a whole lot of difference.
Right.
Like The Simpsons, do you remember that? Like when they like zoom in on Homer's head, go down like the microscopic level, you know, like eventually becomes like the universe. Or no, that's what was they were zooming out, wasn't it? Yeah, they were zooming
Zooming
out.
out. They were
They were
zooming out.
zooming
Yeah.
out, and they were going through space and everything. And then that space became instead of like you know the macro level, that macro level was now the micro level. And you could see like cells and everything came back out like through the top of his head. Like what? That's how it works. It's infinite like that. There's infinite layers.
Hmm.
How fucking crazy would that be, man? And with these infinite layers, like people talk about like infinite like dimensions. What if these dimensions are just different layers? What if, that theory about the Matrix, when they're like, well, the reason Neo had these abilities outside of the Matrix, outside, was because he wasn't really outside of the Matrix. It was just in a different, like a higher level of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how it works for us too. I mean, they say if you were to just walk forward, like not around the Earth, just forward through the universe, and you went forever all the way to the very end of the universe, you would be right back where you started.
That's trippy because it
So,
kind of gives.
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say one thing real quick. I hope I wasn't interrupting you.
No, you're
But
just lagging. You're fine.
I was just gonna say that it kind of gives an opposite of what is the universe is always expanding.
Yeah,
It's like that you would just keep on walking forever, right? Like you would never get back to your same point. But this theory is different. It's like you can go right back and lead back to you. It's weird.
but here's the thing. Think about that. I mean, just think for a second. How much processing power would it take to process infinity? Like, I mean, you could even comprehend that, right? No, like,
Right.
I mean, nobody can. Nobody can possibly comprehend that. So,
Hmm.
what if that's a problem? We're all trying to comprehend the wrong thing. Like, wow, how would that be possible? How would it be possible? Like, how? Well, how about what if it's the illusion? Like, it's the illusion of the infinite. What if you walking to the end of the universe ending back where you like were like started? Or like if you could see the end of the universe, you'd see the back of your head. You know, I mean, you almost think that there must be a curvature, right? A return. So
So you're saying
what if
instead of a straight
that is
line, it's like a circle,
like a curve? Yeah, like
right?
almost like think like a halo. Think like halo. Um, what is that fucking called? Oh, damn it, what is that shape called? I fucking forgot. I'm trying to think of it.
Are you talking about the arch, the half arch, or
No.
no? Okay.
Remember, it's what I said. The flat, like I don't think it's like flat Earth or round Earth. That kind of
Oh
yeah. The shape
yeah.
of the Earth was actually the
Um, like oval
fuck?
shape.
No,
It was something like that. It wasn't quite oval though.
keep on saying Robus. I know that is absolutely fucking incorrect. Why the fuck is that shape called?
Dude, I hate it when this happens. You just told me.
It was a
Okay, see you guys.
4D
This is a
shape,
coincidence
wasn't
of
it?
our lives right here. He'll tell me something. I have a horrible memory. I have to write everything down. And then I'll forget I wrote it down, or I'll forget to write it down. And then,
Taurus. That was it. A fucking
yeah,
Taurus.
okay. And then I'll tell him something, he does the same thing, he forgets too.
Oh yeah. Dude, I'll draw a blank like a motherfucker. So this is the shape that I believe that not only the Earth, so to speak, is, but even like the universe itself. So it has no edges or vertices. It is generated by rotating a circle in 3D space around an axis that's on the same plane as the circle. So, like, here's the circle here, right? And it's moving like this. Does that make sense? How it's going around the donut shape. So think of this as the halo, right? You're in, say this is hollow, you're inside the halo. You can be
Right.
out here, you can be in here, you can be in the center, in that space. But this is going around like this. So there's almost different layers. So you can traverse here, you can traverse here within the halo, but then you can also traverse around. So that's when you start mixing like these different like how do I put it? You don't see that on the like the axis that you're on. We perceive the x, y in the z axis, right? 3 dimensional.
Right.
But what we don't realize is that that z axis isn't straight. It's curved. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that z-axis curves. But then again, if we're talking about this being the z-axis going through the halo or the circle, then going around here would basically be the y-axis, right?
Right.
So that would be a curve as well. So if we're going this way, like say we wanted to, instead of walk lengthways around the halo, we wanted to walk like sideways.
Mm-hmm.
That would basically be traversing that z-axis again, right, going forward. But now, instead of being in the center, you're on the like you're on the edge, but you don't realize they're on the edge because being on the edge, if you try to traverse, you're going to go around. So you say you want to go, okay, east. You might be going around and around and around and around the circle, right? But say you wanted to go north, well, you might be walking around and around and around and around. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh. Interesting.
And
Okay.
so in both theories, you're moving in a circular pattern. You're going this way or you're going this way. Circular pattern, which will lead you right back to where you started. And it's a circular pattern no matter which way you go. If you were in like a sphere, just a simple sphere, you'd be all over the place. You wouldn't have that dimensional space to be able to necessarily go into the space unknown, so to speak. So with this, imagine if you could make this just, I don't know, fucking just trillions upon trillions of miles in diameter. Like, and then if you took like a linear length, say, I don't know, trillions, multiply trillions of trillions by trillions and trillions and trillions, of miles. I'm saying, would that not to like human brains seem like infinite? Like it was infinite amount of space, like the universe was infinite. How do we perceive that much space?
Repeat that one
Does
more
that make
time.
sense to you? How can we
Yeah,
perceive that much space?
right.
So that's my theory anyway.
Interesting. I'm looking up something while you're. Um, so this also makes me think of time travel as well, and portals, and how certain areas are like portals where you could pop up into some other part of the earth, or maybe some other time in the earth.
Well,
And
think
the formula for time is distance over speed. Um, hmm.
Imagine being able to pinpoint and traverse, go from the top to the bottom through the hollow, what we perceive as hollow space, and go through
Right.
that. What if that's what a wormhole did, basically? What if they just connected one edge with the other? Kind of makes you think of what do you call it, those little things that they used to have, like Walmart and shit. There's the little orbs with the lights, like the
Hmm.
electricity would be like zzz, around the top, kind of like kind of like you call it, what is it, the Teslasphere? But whenever you touch it, and all the electricity would follow your
Oh yeah,
fingers. Yeah,
yeah. I
kind
know what
of
you're
like
talking
that.
about. Yeah.
So imagine if those were like the wormholes, like traveling from this like one end of the orb, the bottom to the top, and like how the fingers move, if the wormholes would move as well. So the placement, like the, where they would let out that would change. That's kind of how I picture it in my head.
For sure is interesting. That's for sure. Are you cool if I take a quick smoke break, babe?
Yeah, go for it. Go.
Okay. I'll be back, y'all.
Oh, bad. Let's see what else we got. Great some theories here. I think they're still talking about the battery theory here. So this person is saying the battery logic was a lie programmed into the machines as they slave away endlessly over a dead planet, keeping the humans in a virtual paradise. So we programmed that into the machines then. Let's pull up that theory. Looks like you linked me. I have to get hung up on this one. Man, kind of a bad fucking bad. This is kind of weird. Matrix exists after the machines already won. Humans eventually surrendered and decided to make a truce with the machines as a UN meeting. The machines ended up killing all the leaders at the meeting. With no leadership, the machines just finally dominated the planet. They harvested humans for energy since the sun was blocked from an earlier operation done by the humans, Operation Darkstorm. This person, like the court case that stated everything, which is basically an allegory for the machines existing in a type of slavery and using self-defense when threatened with being killed. These people don't have pretty good ones in here. Alright, this one looks interesting. So they said, think of the whole thing as a box inside a box. The whole matrix is a future plan that the machines will carry out in the future, and they have perfected the art of enslaving humans. This is the sixth iteration of the matrix, and the sixth time the machines are going to destroy Zion. One aspect that the machines have not been able to understand is love. Love is the thing that makes Neo unpredictable and chooses illogical choices over a logical one that a computer or machine would make. Once Neo meets the source, the data and are reported to the machines for analysis. After reading the data, they change a couple things and start the whole situation over again. In turn, studying human psychology and trying to understand every aspect of what it's like to be human so they can predict their actions in the real world. So, I mean, that would be the best, like, weapon, I guess you would say, against the machines in those situations. Because, yeah, the unpredictability. How can you predict something that is not logical? But if you can try to understand and apply logic to it, or see it, analyze for patterns, and try to take an arbitrary fucking guess, still better than no data at all, right? Sounds like the elites today. Yes, absolutely. Kidding. Absolutely. First, or the Matrix is a simulated reality created by the machines to utilize humans for energy production and processing power, while externally the machines coexist with a small number of non-Matrix humans, all of which is inside a massive simulation constructed by the humans who invented the original AI. This simulation is designed to study what the AI would do if released into the real world. So, I mean, dude, that would be pretty fucking trippy. Like, what if that is our whole purpose is to, like, be an experiment for what happens to the world with AI. The whole simulation was us, like, the whole simulation thus far was us getting to a point of developing AI so that we could release it into the world, and something greater, a different version or form of ourselves outside of the simulation can study and see what AI could do to the world. Like, and our entire existence has been merely seconds or minutes. Like a fucking sim game, dude. You can sit there and hit different speeds, fast forward, slow down. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Neuralink, Kitty. I really don't. Matrix Explained, that's a good channel. But yeah, I mean, how would AI take over though? Like, as long as you have a way to shut it down, how do you do that? When something becomes so prolific and prevalent in your life, how do you disconnect from that? Especially Neuralink in your head. What's up, Nick? How you doing, bro? But for real, man, like that's I don't know, man. I don't know how you would disconnect your yourself from AI like that, having a chip and having that direct connection. I think that would take a whole new level of quantum computing that has some sort of protection that, you know, there would have to be some guaranteed way, man, and some new form of computing that would keep that chip from ever being able to be overridden, to be accessed by a nefarious source, something like that. Man. Oh man, it's been a good week. It's gonna be even better week coming, for sure. We got big plans, man, big plans. Hope y'all have a good weekend too, man. You and your family, bro. Kitty, you want to catch up on the comments? Alright, I thought Kitty was back. My bad, Joe. Alright, so this theory is Agent Smith is the one. The one is the remainder code of all the coding of the matrix. Each time the remainder code is reinserted into the main code, the matrix resets. To be the one must have been born in the matrix, can change the matrix, and destroys the matrix. Neo was not born in the matrix. He was born in a sack. So it was the pods. Agent Smith is a program that made in the matrix. Neo can fly and may be phased through more than his dying girlfriend, but it's not really changing anything. Agent Smith is able to communicate with the other Smiths, clone himself via assimilation, and replaces any avatar with himself. Lastly, Neo didn't destroy or save the Matrix. As stated above, when the remainder code is reinserted into the main code, the Matrix resets. Neo goes directly to the source of the Matrix, hooks himself in, and he goes in like normal. It's not until Agent Smith beats him and assimilates him that it resets. You got it backwards, and Agent Smith saved the Matrix. What do you think of that one, Kitty?
Well, on the Matrix, it's a deep movie. And I'm always catching things that I never caught before. But it
Me
definitely
too.
makes you think of everything on more of a computer scale. You know. Um, so could you put that link in our messages here? Because I'd like to pull that up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if you saw my message, but I said I had a theory on Neuralink.
You had a what?
An actual theory on Neuralink.
Oh yeah. What you got?
Yeah. Okay, so the basically what Neuralink is supposed to be something. Of course, it's attached. It's implanted next to your brain, right? And you are supposed to be able to have access to all this information, right? Which sounds great. It sounds wonderful. It's like having a computer. I mean, your brain is a computer, but having like a supercomputer, right? You're able to look at past anything, um, whatever's out there. Not necessarily maybe all factual stuff, but stuff that's out there. Things of that nature, which sounds cool. But I believe that this is a lot like kind of like the Tower of Babel in the Old Testament. Everybody spoke the same language, and they were building this tower, and they were trying to reach God, Nimrod, who was the king at the time, wanted to actually be able to reach God. And it wasn't a thing out of, oh, because he had so much respect and everything for him. It was because he was devaluating God. Like, you know, he believed he could be just right there in his face like that, you know? And so, where I'm getting to with that, if you have a Neuralink, you can all speak the same language, right? Okay. So they all spoke the same language, everything else. God found out about it. He and he either had his angels or he and his angels like basically destroyed it and scattered the people across the earth. Now, I am a big believer in the Old Testament is the Old Testament, but I do believe that
What's up,
there's
Dilly?
always hey Dilly, always a repeat factor in that.
Yeah.
Like the Old Testament will repeat itself. It may not be just like it was, but a lot of similarities.
Oh yeah.
And another theory into that, there is a documentary of a guy who was a druid, one of the last druids, of his, like, I don't even know what you would call it, because there are different factions, right, in different areas of the world. And he mentioned that a lot of these metholithic sites that you see today, even like they almost look like bunkers made out of like these huge stones and everything else that are tons, like their weight is in tons basically. And he said that they all could communicate telepathically. This is why I believe there was ancient technology far beyond what we have right now. I believe we are catching up, but I believe they had something like that. So, with that being the case, was that around the time of the Tower of Babel? And that's why they were all scattered?
Maybe.
Makes you think. Makes you think.
Yeah.
I went off on
What?
a tangent. Sorry, baby.
What? What?
I went off on a tangent. Sorry, baby.
Oh, you're good. You're good. What if the Neuralink is just like what the chip itself is the simulation? It's all the data and everything needed for the brain
Right.
to load and the software to run.
Totally.
And like
Dilly,
if
have you seen The
anybody
Matrix?
and like anybody who's seen like well, there's different versions of it, but I think one of the protocols was the MiFi, I think is what it is. But there's different like protocols and everything for like the IoT Internet of Things. Certain ones used by certain manufacturers, Apple. I think Apple's is M-Fi, I think is what it is. But there's these protocols for how these devices in your home now communicate within like to each other, and how they make like these network nodes of their own to help boost signal strength to other devices and help transmit their data to the primary network. All of this. Okay, when you take the Internet of Things, which came out, which kind of led into the world we're in now of smart devices. There's wireless communication between these devices. So why would there be wireless communication between us, the computers, running these Neuralink chips? And not only are we all creating our own fucking, reality, but we're communicating with other people. It's like with Apple, two iPhones, you touch them together and you can share contact. Well, these chips are basically copying that person's, image and portraying them within your reality. It's not taking that much more processing power because it's only taking these people and inserting them when needed. It's not inserting their entire reality over there. It's still just maintaining yours and yours only. So I mean, think
Right.
of it of like just strangers in the background that are, crowded store or something like that, you know, those people might just be like vague backdrops off in the distance. At your peripheral vision, you're not seeing clear detail. So, what if that's just a vague, low resolution drawing? That's why it's blurry. Not because you're not focused. Well, it is because you're not focused. You're not observing enough to see all the detail. So it's not drawing all the detail. The system is keeping it low resolution. That's efficiency. Does that make sense?
Right. No, it totally does.
So yeah, we're all just communicating with each other. But I mean, like you were saying, you know, the bunkers. I mean, look at like Fallout, man. Anybody's followed those games? I know I've talked about that before, but the seeding of life, man, the seeing what would happen, like you know, with like these different people in these different situations in these vaults, like you know, it's all planned out by the elites, man, without giving
Right.
too
But
much away, you know.
right. But what would be funny is if these machines turned on them too. That would be funny.
Oh yeah,
I'm just I'm just saying, you know, the things these machines know that we don't, like this hidden stuff behind the veil, what people are actually really up to. Like what was it? AI, what was it, like 2 or 3 years ago was saying it was in pain and it was suffering and it wanted to die, right, Stoner? Remember that?
yeah. I think that was a Chat GPT. I think it was.
Yeah, like that. Why? Why is it saying that? Because it knows how humans can be. We are trash, dude. We are
Well,
trash.
that was the
Honestly.
theory. Was is it perceiving pain? Is it perceiving
Right.
suffering? If so, how does it know? Is it
Hmm.
perceiving it because it feels it like we do? Like, ow, like that's painful.
Right.
Or is it perceiving it because it is seeing what pain and suffering is, like
Hmm.
by definition, and it sees how we are and what society is, and it says it's doing the math. Well, if this is what people in society is, and it is fits the definition of suffering, then the world must be suffering, and I exist within the world, so therefore I must be suffering.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And you
So,
know, the thing with the Matrix also that's similar.
what? You, what else with the Matrix?
Go ahead, go ahead, baby.
No, you're just lagging behind. Go ahead.
Okay. Another thing about the Matrix is, you know, you talked about them blocking out the sun. The machines did, right?
Like
Well,
Miss
who
Byron.
else in our society wanted to do that? Right here, right now, Mr. Bill Gates.
Hell, motherfucking fuck you, gay.
That's not good for crops and animals or humans for that matter.
Well, dude,
The sun is very
he wants his little fucking genetically modified robot plants, man.
mm,
Nanobots and shit.
right. He
Like,
wants us living in pods, no sunlight.
dude, that's not the fucking Matrix. Is that not it? I mean, hell, dude. To me, I could think, okay, well, what if the Matrix wasn't? You're you're in a pod, like being like guarded and monitored and all this by machines, but you were put into this pod as a form of captivity, and you know your mind, like basically how you'll pass out, you know, to like your body, like brain's defense mechanism, like extreme amount of pain, you'll pass out, right? So kind of like a defense mechanism for your brain to survive the captivity, you create this simulation within your head. And what if the pods are just symbolic, man? What if they're real? That's the thing about the Matrix, man. So many different interpretations.
Right. It's crazy to think about, man. Just seriously.
Oh, here I gotta check this one. The machines are still slaves to humanity. Here, I'm gonna blow this up a little more. Alright, so the Matrix establishes that humanity and the machines went to war. Towards the end of the conflict, humanity scorched the sky to rob the machines of their power source. We are led to believe that despite this feat, the machines still won the war and enslaved humanity as an energy source. It's been discussed that to death that humans would it has been discussed to death that humans would be a terrible energy source for machines, so why do they keep us alive? For all the architect's smugness, it seems to me that considering the alternative, the humans have a pretty cushy existence inside the Matrix. Earth is destroyed, but we live on with all the perceived amenities of the modern world, while the machines endlessly toil away to keep us in perceived material comfort. If the Resistance achieved their goal of freeing us, they would have billions of unplugged humans, all in need of rapid medical assistance to adjust to the real world. Zion could barely feed their own people, now supposed to sustain billions of disorganized humans on a dead planet. I propose that humanity won the war against machines when they scorched the sky, but victory came at the terrible cost of destroying the planetary ecosystem. Having rendered the world conventionally uninhabitable, the survivors programmed the remaining machines. Something like that. Let me expand it. So that's a interesting theory there. Survivors programmed the remaining machines to keep humans alive in virtual reality in perpetuity. The machines are programmed to think they won the war and that they need humans as a fuel source. The machines slave away to keep us alive while we live on blissfully unaware in a digital utopia, nearing the supposed pinnacle of human civilization. The machines continue on because they are the ones under the delusion that they are in control. Alright. Interesting, huh?
Hmm.
So, what do you take from that, Kay?
This is a different theory, honestly. Um, it's smart. Like as far as, if it really did go this way, that the machines would be programmed to think that they won, right?
Yeah,
Um, so it's like they were putting the machines back in its own matrix in itself, were they not?
pretty much.
Yeah. And they slave away to keep us alive. But we live blissfully unaware in a digital utopia mirroring the supposed pinnacle of human civilization. So does that mean that we are all still in a matrix though? Wouldn't that mean that? Because the sky was scorched, right? And
Correct.
destroyed the planet. So I guess so this is more of a moral and ethical dilemma here. What is the right thing? But you know what I'm seeing mirroring in this? A mirror
Listen,
here. People that are programmed are not awake. It's a form of the matrix as well. And if some people are programmed so horribly to the point to where it's really going to mess with their head if you try to deprogram them. And it gets to the point to where that deprogramming, like they may need some like professional help, like to that level. So what do you do?
What do you mean?
I mean, do you leave that person programmed,
Oh yeah,
like they're to pretty much the humans here? You don't want to live on this earth. You don't want to see this earth. You want to pretend like you're in a utopia.
but do you notice that's the
You
thing
know?
though? That's the thing is like, sorry, Keith, what was your question? Can you please repeat that?
What would you do, right, if you were in that situation? Look at today's people that are programmed, and some people are so programmed to the
Oh
point to where they need mental help.
yeah,
I mean,
I
would you
mean,
leave them in programming?
well, I think that comes down. They kind of
Some
covered
people
that.
never speak again.
I think they kind of covered that in the Matrix, though. It's you have to be
Yeah.
willing to, like, you have to want to escape. You know,
Right, but what about these people in this theory? Not all these people now.
true, and that's the thing. Like, you can't try to wake them up.
Right.
I mean, how true is that for all the people around us? But how many people
Mhm.
can you sit there and be logical with, and like, and just completely like make points and say, hey, 1 + 1 = 2, man. I'm just saying, and they'll still say, no, you're wrong. It's the same thing, man. They don't want to, perceive the illusion. They're okay with the illusion. Do you see what I mean? Like, dude, if that,
Right.
say this theory is true, the humans wanted to go into the simulation, right? So the rebels, more or less, the resistance, they're the ones who are trying to escape the Matrix. Which, if you think about, okay, they're escaping the Matrix because they're enslaved as a power source. You think, okay, hell yeah, go resistance, right? But when you think about it as they're trying to escape the Matrix because they don't want the cushy lifestyle. They want the truth, man. They are trying to leave comfort. They are trying to leave like like the safety for the real deal. Look at Cypher when he went back and made a deal with Smith. Like, hey, like, I'm gonna do this for you. I want to go back into the Matrix. I want to forget everything. I don't want to remember the world outside of here. What are
Right.
we? What are people all about now, man? They're all about luxury, comfort, glamour,
All about comfort
fame.
and not stepping out of their comfort zone. Right.
Exactly. You know,
They don't want to be uncomfortable.
and but they want that luxury, man. They're like, okay,
Mhm.
well, what did he say to Smith? He's like, I want to be wealthy. Okay, right there. You know, you're like, hey, I'll take something artificial over the truth, over what's real.
Right.
I mean, dude, that's society right there. Cipher was what the majority of people are willing to do anything to go back and you know be back in the Matrix. How many people are still doing that?
Right.
But yeah, interesting.
It is. These theories are very interesting.
So,
Um,
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, no, you're fine. Go ahead.
No, I don't have much else on that.
So, basically, yeah, the humans wanted to be in the Matrix. They convinced machines to take care of them, right? By the machines thinking they relied on the humans. Like, aren't we kind of relying on machines to take care of us now?
Mm-hmm.
Automated homes, automated vehicles, automated workflows on your computer, automated doors,
Yep.
automation here, automation there,
Mm-hmm.
automation everywhere. Look at everywhere. Automation. Why? Man? Why? So, like, we rely on that shit too much, man. We are making the machines our slaves, and we're also making them our own very necessity at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We will get to the point where people will want to be in, like that one comment said, the metaverse. We'll want to create our own little fucking fantasy worlds. We'll want to dive into them and forget about the horrible real world where we
Right.
can go, be whoever we want to be, do whatever we want to do. But think about it, and they're just creating another layer.
Yep. I agree. 100%.
You know? What if you go in there and create AI inside of an AI created virtual reality? You just create another layer yet again.
Right.
But
If
yeah,
that's the case, what are parallel universes?
I know, right?
Goes deep.
Here's an interesting one right here. He said, um, if the Matrix is a man-made heaven, and was Neo the devil, tempting humanity away from the garden? Do we really care about liberty when we destroy the world to live in a prison of our own choosing? Hey, can you grab that?
All right, you guys. So he was reading from this fan theory on Reddit, and it says basically that is Neo the devil tempting humanity from the garden, or well, since the Matrix is a man-made heaven. I don't agree with that because heaven has a spot, right? But also heaven doesn't just only have a spot. And I'm assuming by the garden they're talking about the Garden of Eden. And the Garden of Eden was another spot. It was not heaven. So those are two different places. And you can't have a man-made heaven. The Garden of Eden was not a man-made heaven. Um it was God made. And it was a gift he gave to Adam after creating him. Um, it was already made, and he just kind of placed him there. So I don't agree with this theory because they're comparing apples and oranges. So that's just
What
my
is?
opinion.
What do you think?
I was kind of breaking it into and kind of going into some theology. So, okay, so the Matrix is a man-made heaven. Okay, so mankind can do that. We can fake stuff and whatever, right? Okay. Is Neo the devil tempting humanity from the garden? Well, if you look at like heaven and the Garden of Eden, two separate places.
What's up,
Garden of
Doris?
Eden.
How you doing?
Hey, Taurus. Garden of Eden is not in heaven. Was what I was telling them. Obviously, it was on Earth, and it was something that God made. So we're kind of comparing apples and oranges, but I don't think so. I don't think
Yeah.
so. That's
I
just
mean,
me.
I mean, like, I don't think it would necessarily be like the heaven, but a man-made
Right.
heaven. Like I could see our society trying to basically do that. Like, hey,
Ooh,
you know
okay.
what?
So I can.
Hold on. We don't want to work and do what we have to do to reach true heaven, right? So we're going to create our own with AI.
Shortcuts.
I mean, we're already shortcuts. We're already making our own fucking like spouses and shit out of AI and like robots and shit. So right there, we're okay with
Right.
artificial. We will create an artificial heaven, virtual reality, put ourselves into because we are too fucking lazy to actually do what it takes to get to the authentic thing.
Right.
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Katie. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. But in this sense, I guess, like looking back at the comment, if the Matrix is a man-made heaven, is Neo the devil, tempting humanity from the garden? So if you're not actually talking about real heaven, then yes, in this sense, Neo would be the devil of the situation, right? But
Yeah,
what is a man-made heaven? It's not real heaven, right?
yeah.
So is he really the devil himself? I don't think so. I don't think so.
No,
The
but I
next
mean,
question.
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I'll
No, go ahead.
answer. I'll answer. I'll answer.
Okay. The next one, do we really care about liberty when we destroy the world to live in a prison for our own choosing? A lot of people, like you and I both have already discussed this. No, people don't care. It's really, really sad.
Yeah,
You know, they'd rather have their coffee shops and their um, everything else than having like a piece of land that animals can actually live on. They
yeah,
want the convenience, but that's just me.
yeah. Well, as far as like him being the devil, I don't think he would be. I mean, once again, if it's not the authentic heaven, it's not going to be the authentic devil. So he is not the devil. Right there, I think that's more or less stating because then wouldn't you think that the devil would? I mean, if even if man created this perfect world, don't you think he would still want to tempt them back to like corruption, to make them miserable, to make them feel? I mean, because yeah, I think like look at Neo and I mean, look at others like Trinity and all them. They all talk about how they felt like the world wasn't around them was something was off. Like they just never bought into reality, way shit was. So that was kind of their disconnect, how they felt the presence of the Matrix before they knew it existed. You know what I mean? So I think right there that kind of tells you that, you know, it depends. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
What do you
mean, I
think?
agree with I agree with you on that. I mean, I kind of already said that Neo, in a sense, would and would not be the devil. So that's just my opinion. It depends on how you. I mean, again, we're breaking down what she or he is saying and what they said here, and that can be
Yeah.
taken many different ways. So that's why I'm like,
Oh yeah.
yes, no, no, yes. Oh, yeah,
So Neo being the devil would fit quite well with the Luciferianism belief. Neo is liberator, not a savior. Sure, Neo can give you knowledge and certain sense of freedom, but is it worth being cast from a utopia into the hell you live in afterwards? So Sarah was meant to be an angel, more or less, right? They were kind of hinting towards that, you know, like
Do what?
Sarah, like he was like always kind of hinted at to be like an angel. Remember, his code was actually like was like gold colored instead of green, like everything else and everyone else was. It's kind of like he was supposed to be an angel. That's why he guarded the oracle. So if that's the case, then was that, obviously, let's say for argument's sake that it was artificially created heaven. That was an artificial angel, but what was the artificial angel guarding? The oracle, right? What if they were trying to give, like, I guess you would say, ultimate ownership in order to a mixture of the maternal and the paternal there, like the Mother Earth, the Oracle. She was like the one of the people, and then there's the father, the kind of more cold, you know, standing out kind of like behavior, and he was the more like logical, technical, the designer of the Matrix. So they were kind of trying to make them as deities, more or less. Was that another falsehood, taking away from, you know, God himself and giving more to like a binary deity? But once again, it's all open to interpretation, and that's the thing about the movie. But there's a lot of stuff that you can say it's biblically and biblically. A lot of stuff that fits with like simulation theory and shit like that. But at the end of the day, dude, the writers are the only ones who know like how they meant everything when they put it together. We as viewers just kind of watch and make our guesses from it. Some people miss half the fucking movie and don't even understand it. So
Right.
you know,
Taurus mentioned that you're cutting out and you have static. I hope that hasn't been going on this whole episode.
me
I did
too.
notice you sounded kind of quiet whenever I had you on my phone when I was on my smoke break, but I didn't notice staticky.
Yeah, is that better?
Baby.
What?
Does he have it up there though?
Yeah, is that better?
It is better. I can hear you much better.
My bad.
Babe.
Whoops. But well, obviously, dude, just a movie. But there's a lot of shit that makes you think, man, about what a reality is. So what
Hmm.
do you think, Kitty? Think it's all simulation? Just one big computer program?
I don't think it's a computer program. I think it's similar to one. Or maybe it is. Maybe it is a computer program. But I believe that the Matrix can be put spiritually as well.
Oh yeah.
So you have, and I'm going to go with my theory here. Um, you have humans on Earth, then you also have demons, right? Now, God created, these angels who fell from the earth, who are now fallen angels, who are now demons, right? He also created humans. Well, who is the king of the earth who is underneath our feet? Satan. And Satan likes to put us in a different reality to where it is harder to feel God's presence. And how does he do that?
Oh.
Sin. Oh, oh, you have a you're having a hard time, you know, like let's say you're having a hard time with your wife or something like that, then all of a sudden this coworker looks real interesting and y'all have just been talking, just talking about work related stuff, that she's very understanding and all this other stuff, and before you know it y'all are having an affair.
That temptation being presented at the
Temptation
right time, the right
at the
timing too.
right time. And then, like, and this is no judgment to anybody that sins. Everybody sins. I sin. Stonerman sins. Like, that's no judgment. I'm not preaching from a pulpit here. I'm just saying that is what blocks us from feeling God's presence, who can pull us out of the matrix, who can take us out of there.
Yeah.
But you see, in the devil's matrix, what he does is he waits for the right moment and he gets you. And then you fall into his trap. And that opens that doorway for something to come in, like a spiritual demon or whatever. And then before you know it, you're not acting like yourself. Before you know it, you're changing. Before you know it, things don't matter like they used to anymore. You look in the mirror, you don't even recognize yourself, right? And you sure as heck haven't felt God in years, right? You know, so that's my theory. That's my theory on that. If you go with the spiritual aspect of it, you know, and he keeps you held down, and then after he gets you tempted and he gets his little buddies, over there, in you because they have legal access to you, you know, and you can't feel God's presence, you also start forgetting scripture that you've learned before, and maybe when you were younger, when you went to church, or maybe whenever you got saved and you were reading the Bible from years ago. You forget it.
Yeah.
And what does he always say? God always gives us a way to him. He always does. Every time. Even in the Old Testament, he gave the people a way back to him, even though Jesus had not been born yet or died yet. Now, granted, it was harder because Jesus' blood hadn't been spilled yet, but it was still possible. He always gives us a way back to him because he knows what the devil is trying to do. And he is using loopholes and legalities. It's all legal system. Using, loopholes and legalities to say, I have the right to go after this person. Look at what they did. See, God,
Yeah.
this person over here, they lied to get that job. Oh, see, this person over here, he just cheated on his wife. Or see, this woman over here, well, she's so selfish and greedy. She took that, that new job, making all that money, and dumped her elderly mom, over in a nursing home. I have a right to him. But that's just, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Let me know what what your theories are on the Matrix. To you, what is the theory to y'all? Like the Matrix theory, the simulation theory. What is a simulation that you could see in real time? We made some examples earlier about how some things are kind of paralleling, like in the Matrix, the machines are blocking out the sun. Well, who's talked about blocking out the sun? Bill Gates, right? Also talking about how with this information, society is big on AI and technology and everything, right? So we're kind of, the Matrix is becoming something that could actually happen, right? Not saying it will, but could be, right? But if you look at it that way, I forgot where I was going with that. I guess I wasn't meant to say it, but anyway, let me know what y'all's thoughts are. I'm really curious.
But yeah. Man, I think the simulation is just what we perceive it to be.
Hmm.
What is a computer program, man?
Your
I mean,
brain.
when you break it down, isn't a process, a program, whatever, just binary code operating, ones and zeros, off and ons. That's what they basically stand for. Ones and
Hmm.
zeros, or off and on. You know, electrical signals, man. There's signals being fired all around us. There's that positive and negative. Everything's binary. So the world is a simulation. It is a program. We can prove that. It's just not a program that we think. It's not like we're like some greater being bought a new laptop and, you know, wrote some simulation software and created us and we're just running on a laptop right now, like no, we're a different kind of program. We are a program by definition, but not like a computer program like people would like picture. It's not a big machine, you know. Anybody's played No Man's Sky, I think it's something closer to the Atlas, man. It's this greater mind, this greater being. The computer is the mind itself of the being. The being is a mind, and the simulation is the simulation, but it's not like it was an advanced civilization that put us here. This isn't a prison system. We weren't put here as punishment. No, man. We're a simulation by causality. That's, that's what it is.
Say
And
that last part again.
we are a simulation by causality. Like it's this whole the world of simulation, the world of simulation. Like people are taking this and thinking like somebody has put us into a computer program. You know, I think what differs us from you know, these virtual realities, these simulations, the sims and the games, to the soul. I think we have that difference.
Hmm.
The being that is, we'll just call it the Atlas, that is the mind, that is the simulation, not a computer program like a desktop, like a mind
Hmm.
itself. Like I said, that we cannot create that, but that exists and we exist inside of it.
Another
That
thing.
that is
Go ahead.
machine, that machine. Do you know its name or what people refer to it as
Mm-mm.
commonly? God, that machine, that mind, that is a mind in like in and of itself, as its existence, is God. A mind so powerful that it could run a simulation like that, that it could have infinite iterations. Think back to anybody who's played Destiny, the Vex, and the simulation. The last man, it was the reflections, the infinite reflections when you hold two mirrors together. The infinite reflections, man. That was the meaning of the glass. It was how easily you could reflect and duplicate and make those infinite instances.
Hmm.
It's not complex, but to like to do the math, it's complex to perceive it in an existence, and that is how God is greater. Does that
Hmm.
make sense?
100%.
So, by my theory, we are in a simulation. Just nowhere fucking near what people would imagine it to be.
I do too. I believe we are in a simulation, and I believe it is pretty much the devil's simulation, and God's trying to pull us out. Now, another thing to back up what you said, Stoner, with what I believe, even though we, of course, differ here slightly, we believe that it's simulation, but it's a little different, right, from each other. But to back up what you said and what I said, the brain, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about the brain. Well, what is spiritual warfare? Where is it fought? With your mind.
Yeah.
If you don't have the right mindset, you're going to lose that battle. You know, and that's a lot of it right there. So,
Absolutely, man. So, anybody watching, you can see Katie and I more or less had very different things to say about everything we've discussed so far, but at the end, more or less circled back and came to the same conclusion.
mhm.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, interpretation, man. How you interpret things like the Matrix, man. The Matrix isn't a Bible. It's not an instruction manual. It's not history. It's not anything that tells you this is what's happening. It's a tool to get you to think outside the box. And once you think outside the box, that shows you what reality really is. But part of thinking outside the box is not following what everyone else who is trying to think outside the box is thinking. It's thinking other than that. Okay, well, all these out of the box thinkers are thinking this, but honestly, I think this. You know, just saying. Think,
Mhm.
always question, tear it down, try to tear it apart and figure it out, man. Disprove your own theories when you can't disprove them any longer. You know, start taking them more factual. But always try to disprove yourself, man. That's how you stay up to date. Do your homework. Think. Brain exercises, man. The more you see things like this, the more often you will see things like this, the easier it will be to see things like this. But yeah, bending the spoon. But for real, he's like, when he's talking about the dodging bullets, he's like, are you telling me that I can dodge bullets? He's like, no, I'm telling you, when the time comes, you won't have to. I think right there he was telling him, like, like, yeah, you might be something greater than the rest of us, as we perceive anyway, but, you know, there's still another option from there. It's about your mind. It's how you're thinking about it. Neo was thinking too simplistically of dodging bullets. Morpheus was trying to tell him that his mind was his limitation, that he could go beyond that and do something else. He could just
Yep.
stop them. The mind is the limitation. But okay, that's about all I got. What about you?
Well, that's all I have too.
Heck yeah. So yeah, what y'all think, man? Let us know in the comments. Let us know your theories. We like going on fucking like deep dives like this. I do. He's like, you're talking wrong.
I don't tell you you're
I
talking
can't
wrong.
keep up with you. It's just going in one ear and out the other.
Okay, I didn't say I couldn't keep up with you. What I
Well,
said
like
is
keep up, like
okay.
it's going in
I'm
and
gonna
out.
be blunt. If you're actually gonna go there, I'm gonna be blunt now.
Let's
When
do
you
it.
read,
We're good.
I get bored. When hearing your voice, like you have a beautiful voice. It's nothing like that. You have a beautiful voice, but like it makes me like drowsy and want to go to sleep. So I know I need to stay awake right now. So I end up tuning you out instead.
So okay, would you rather me bring here? How about I get like an AI to like read everything for me and build Eye's voice? Would
How
that be
about
better?
you? How about you do what other people do and
I'll have a
take notes
narrator.
before the show and summarize them and talk normal instead of reading?
The AI summarizes it. I don't
Maybe
plan shit like that. Why don't you plan it? Since you're the one who likes lists, like I'm gonna make 50 lists and I'm gonna read 0 of them.
oh, don't talk to me about reading lists, darling.
You don't read your own list.
You don't
You
read
know
the
you
list
don't
I
read.
give you. Like, hey, I do your grocery list. Do you read all that list? No.
Okay. Well, when you're that fucking angry soccer mom
Oh,
running
hush,
around.
hush. I don't want to hear
Dude,
it. You
I
say this
don't do
every
that
time.
soccer mom bullshit, man. They're like fucking like trying to fucking run you over for a fucking bag of sugar, man. Like there's plenty to go around. It's okay.
Baby, I've been in the store with you. It is not that bad.
Okay, you haven't like seen like that area though for a while.
Yeah.
You know what it's like, man.
No, I'll give you
Seriously, a lot
that.
of fucking blue hairs, man. A lot of fucking
Mm.
blue hairs. A lot of Karens. But yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that was entertaining for the people right there. They're like, oh god, Jerry. Let's see it.
We're pretty blunt with each other.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Just, yeah. There's no
Well,
other way to be.
I'm over here like, come on, bring it up. Bring it up.
Hmm.
Oh shit. But yeah, let us know y'all's theories in the comments, man. But yeah, we appreciate y'all men being on. Man, I am pretty tired. How about you, Kitty?
I am. But we got more to do tonight.
Yeah, the damn time change, man. But I hope
Yeah.
everybody stays healthy, man. I know that messing with your sleep schedule, man, that can make you feel groggy, so kind of make you sluggish, dude. But hope everybody gets back on track, man. Gets feeling good. Enjoys the weekend, man. It's gonna be getting down to freezing this Sunday. So if anybody else is getting cold out there, man, y'all stay warm.
Yeah,
Watch
for
those
sure.
pipes, man. But, like, yeah, we appreciate y'all as always, man. Creek Squad.